Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You see, Head & Shoulders has Scalp Shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Now, you can't live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
With your bad self.
With your bad self. That's right.
With your bad self.
Yeah, good evening, Rattler Nation. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier here. Live post-game reaction from the Hard Rock Stadium after the 2022 Orange Blossom Classic. Did not go Florida A&M's way, to say the least. Final score, Jackson State 59. Can't even believe I'm saying that, Kelvin. FAMU 3. I don't know, Kelvin. Where we can go many of places and start with many of things. Uh, let's. What's funny about this game? We are here in the press box. We're still waiting on the full official stats because we only have the first half stats, Kelvin. 24-3 is what we have, and as bad as that was, that was probably the good half, to say the least. What are some of your thoughts? I never thought that we would be here delivering this kind of post game, but here we are.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me, it appears that some of the off the field issues that we've been going through may have kind of caught up with us, right? We've had a lot of stuff going on. I think the team been here since Wednesday, and then some guys got cleared later and they came in later. You've had students on campus, students within the band, even as of today, stuff going on. So uh, I think if some of that caught up with us, frankly, Jackson State played really well. They're a good squad, and we played really bad, frankly. And I caution people that got too excited about Musa at quarterback because North Carolina didn't game plan for him and so forth. Jackson, like we knew, brought pressure. They played man, and he didn't look the same. He missed a lot of open receivers. He did take a few sacks. Um, I would have thought we would have tried to establish the run more. Our first 8 plays, first 2 series, we had one
One
run.
run. Yep.
So we didn't. We knew we needed to keep the offense off the field. Um, Shador was like perfect at the end of the first quarter. Like, I mean, he was at one point 16 of 16. We weren't getting a whole lot of pressure on him. They really didn't do anything special. They just took what the defense was giving them, and they did that well. Their running game wasn't very well. They didn't average many yards per carry, but Shador ended up with about 332 yards, if I remember correctly, and he completed a high percentage of his passes, and most of it went downfield. Most of it was dink and dunk.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it was a woodshed whooping by Jackson State. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. What could have been. Um, this day, we didn't belong on the field with them. Period.
Yeah, yeah. We there's nothing we can say to Jackson State fans for the rest of this season, and only thing we can hope is that they stumble um, down the road somehow, some way. Which I don't know. Looking at this team, yeah, good luck. But anything's possible. And if it happens, all that FAMU can do is continue to play and improve. Just a few of the post game quotes from Coach Simmons that they were powerful comments to say the least. I never heard. I don't think he's ever had to utter these words, but Coach Simmons in his post-game press conference said, quote, "This loss falls squarely on my shoulders." Also said this was an embarrassing loss for all of us. Also continued by saying Rattler Nation won't see our team play this poorly again, and we really did see. I mean, we saw all three phases. We talk about trying to be good in all three phases, and we have all Americans in all three phases. But to see how poorly the offense, defense, and special teams played, let's see, we had a pick six. We gave up a pick six. We gave up a block punt, which led to a score. Gave up a fumble, which led to a score. I think every possible way Jackson State could score, they did score. Shador Sanders, 5 touchdown passes. I think one of them was for 29 yards, and the other 4 were within 10 yards of the goal line. I mean, 7, 8 yards. Um, our defensive backs got pushed around, which honestly, I was a little worried about the size of Jackson State's receivers going up against the size of our defensive backs, but it just was. They just totally outplayed us,
And coached us.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, coach
yeah.
admitted that. Coach admitted that. So, I mean, if we're going to take him for his word, and he's a man of his word, and he knows he said, quote, in the 18 years of doing this and coaching, he said this is the worst job that he's ever done. I mean, he clearly put this on his shoulders, and there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to hold him accountable, and he understands that, and they should, and that it falls on him. And it does make you wonder, though, because there are a lot of things that we didn't see. I mean, we've talked about before in this contest, Kelvin, about the importance of the running game. You mentioned in the first three series, which I think were 3-and-outs, the first three, we had one run. Now, granted, we had a couple penalties on second down in the first two series, which killed us. I think in the first drive, we had a unsportsmanlike penalty on second down after a nice run by Jennings. And then I think in the second drive was the sack that occurred. Let me see, that's the one stat that did come up here in the first half. I think Jackson had four sacks in the first half. So yeah, I mean it's a tough loss, and you're kind of hearing in the background Coach Sanders doing his post game presser.
I don't know if it's a tough loss, right? And the reason I say that, it was such a bad loss. I mean, this is one you don't really watch film, you don't talk about, you just move to the next opponent. And we only have 5 days to get prepared for an Albany State team that's not going to be afraid of us. They have talent, and they're going to watch this film and feel like they have a chance. So I'm more worried about our team and where we are mentally, um, to be honest, because this season it was high expectations, but it can go sour real quick if we go 0-3, and that is possible. I think, like I said, we got a little ahead of ourselves with the quarterback play. Said we had a quarterback, it was over with. We don't know if we got a quarterback. We have to see between him and McKay. It's still he left the door open, that's for sure. And then I have to say, every big game, and I'm talking when outside of A&T, I would say A&T, we've been able to rise to the occasion against them. But over the last 3 years, we've struggled. We just have not won those games. And I mentioned to you, Brian, and in the box, the first after the first quarter, I thought that Jackson State watched the Southeast Louisiana game, and they pretty much executed the same game plan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They dared us to beat them deep. They weren't worried about a run. They man up on the receivers and waited for us to make mistakes. On the offensive side, on the defense side, they rushed the quarterback. We never committed to the run. So, you know, I want to see our play calling improve on both sides. I think it's too simple. I was able to call a lot of the plays on both sides, what we were going to do.
Yes, you were. Almost gave you a headset there at one point. That's how predictable you were getting, which was kind of scary there.
So we just got work to do, and we got to put in the work. And I think the coaches and the team will do that. I still think they got the talent and everything, but we got to be better.
Yeah, you talked about a couple of the key moments in the game that were really frustrating for a lot of people. I mean, we can go to, and it escapes me where the score was, because I think the score was 21-3. On a 4th and 1, Musa. Okay, so third down, Musa goes down. He gets to within 1 yard of the first down mark. And then so we go 4th and 1. And then all of a sudden, you see Rashawn McKay come into the game in shotgun formation. and we're thinking it's 4th and 1, and it's like what play, what's happening right here? And there ends up being a fumble. It ends up being a return to probably the 20-something yard line by Jackson State. So that was one fumble. And it ends up leading to a touchdown. The 20. Actually, we do hold them to a field goal. I think that's where we actually held them to a field goal, thankfully, on that. But it just that was the one play of the game that in a moment where it's 21-3 and you're thinking, okay, let's get this first down. Let's pick up some first downs. And then, I mean, that's just inexcusable. I mean, I don't understand. I never saw any injury from Moose. I don't know if his helmet came off. I was listening in the post-game press conference. I don't know whether anybody stated what happened, but he
came right back in this series.
He did come back in the next series, right?
I think we just got fancy, right? We tried to do kind of a Hail Mary play. We got too cute, and it backfired.
Some of the Shedeur Sanders, I think at one point, you mentioned being 16-16. I think he was actually 17 of 17 to start the game. I'm looking at the halftime stats where he was 18 of 20, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. We did sack him twice, but he still, I feel like he rushed for more yards than that. But he ended up throwing a total of 5 touchdowns, which I think was a Jackson State single game record. He looked as good as, it's funny, he looked like a freshman at times last year, but he looked good. He looked even better and scary how much better he looked. And I think a part of that was their offense, the way their offense got rid of the ball in spaces to their receivers the same way we try to do that to other teams. The problem is Jackson State was playing man, and they were up on our receivers. Our receivers were giving them a 5-yard cushion. And so, I mean, there were times where Shedeur, he didn't even drop back. It was a fake handoff, turn, throw. And boom, he hit a guy 10 yards down the field. And it's just like, come on, man. That was rough to watch, but I mean, that's the guy that he's the reigning offensive player of the year in the SWAC for a reason. And short of a few guys, maybe a quarterback over a Prairie View or running back here or there, he's going to be in contention again for offensive player of the year in this league. And so that's tough spot, man. Tough spot for us and for everybody who has to go up against Shedeur in this team. Seen a couple other people asking here on the Twitter, or not Twitter, but on YouTube here, where's Kofi? Kofi is here. He's on the field. Kofi's sort of been reporting on one of the other stories that has been going on here at the stadium regarding the Marching 100. And so here's what we know as reported from Kofi, who's down there at the field, and what we saw. So obviously in the end zone where the Marching 100 is sitting was sitting directly in the sun. You guys saw the heat index warnings before the game, and you know how hot it was. So the Marching 100 was pretty much sitting in that section from pretty much pregame, because they didn't even perform during pregame. So from pregame all the way through the first half, they were sitting in that section. They probably played very little, but then they were first out on the field for halftime. And then after halftime, they went back under the stadium. I don't know where they went from there. We did not see the 100 come back out, which led to a lot of people's speculation and wondering, okay, what happened to the 100? I mean, Jackson State fans were even trolling us, talking about where the 100 is. So it was pretty bad, not really knowing what was happening. We ended up hearing word from Kofi that they were not allowed back to their seats. And later come to find out, that was reported the stadium fire marshal, apparently due to the heat index, would not let them back to their seats. And so that's what we know. That's what we were told. And they did come back right as the game went 0-0. Game went 0-0. They were fouling back in, and they performed the fifth quarter. There was shade in that area. So that's all we can really report on right now. You can choose to follow whatever story is running on Instagram or whatever, and just it was a bad look though, Kelvin. I mean, and
It
that's
was.
all I really say. And it was just a bad look.
Yeah, the team out there, they on that same side of the field. They in the heat, and they got more gear on than them. It's about the team, and I just didn't see. We didn't look like a team with the band, and not coming back out, and of course the boom, rightfully so, ragged them. Ask where the 100 at, and go home and some other things, and this just was a bad day, Rally Nation. Truth is the truth, and all that whole fire marshal and all that foolishness. I ain't finna. I'm one of those who speculates. I ain't buying it. All
Hey,
right.
look, I see T-Dot's in there. You were here. Bethune was here just yesterday, the day before against Miami. And look, he even said it was in that section. He sat in that section yesterday. He said it was hot. He left after halftime as well. So apparently Bethune's band left after halftime. I mean, obviously they were getting beat probably just as bad last week or yesterday, I should say. So, I mean, hell, I don't blame them for leaving either. But yeah. Um, anything else, sweet? I don't know, man. There's not. Look, we wanted to come on here because we said we would do one. There's not much to say, folks. There really isn't. I mean, how we respond is what we're going to be looking to our coaches and players, and just really, I think you brought it up, Kelvin. The last 10 days. I mean, let's take it back here. Just think about the last 10 days of all of the distractions. Now, the one thing I will say, and we do know, the one thing that football coaches hate more than anything in the world is distractions. And so, of all the kind of distractions, think about distractions that involve so many people and just your whole team, your whole culture, your environment is just from closed door meetings. And I mean, I'm not saying that they weren't focused on this opponent, but you got all kinds of other things happening around you. And any coach, I don't care what sport, pro, college, high school, they hate distractions because distractions cause mistakes. And you saw them here today. And so, I mean, we can talk about being the better team, better athletes, and all this other stuff, but we do have to factor in. I don't care how much you want to factor it in, but you have to factor in the amount of distractions that this team has had to deal with. And yes, we rallied last week against North Carolina, but still, even then, we gassed out in the fourth quarter. I mean, look at if anyone saw what North Carolina did against App State. I mean, that game was a shootout. Who knows? Full complement of players. Who knows what happens in that fourth quarter against UNC? But we held strong for three quarters, faded in the fourth. Here, we were never in the ball game. Never in the ball game. So, yeah, I see a few people say no excuses. I agree with you. No excuses, and you know,
I mean, the score was 59-3. You can't come up with an excuse for that. It was
yeah,
59-3.
yeah. Some of the in terms of worst losses, I think this we haven't had anybody put 59 on us since Hampton in 2006. Was that six? That's it. November 11th. November 11th, 2006 was the last time that somebody put 59 on. You said you were at that game. I was Joe Taylor. No. Joe, that was a
He was at Hampton.
yeah. He was at yeah. That was before he ended up coming to FAM. He was at Hampton and put 50. I can't believe we hired him after that. But anyway, no, he he put 59 on us that night. And then of course there was we got shut out. I think 35-0 to South Carolina State. So in terms of conference losses, those would be the two most recent worst conference losses that FAMU has had to deal with, and that's the now that's what we got to deal with, folks.
Well, so I do want to talk before we go about what moving forward. So for Jackson State, they got Tennessee State. Tennessee State looked really good against Eastern Washington. That should be an interesting game for us. I don't know. It depends which team we get. First home game, we playing Albany State, really good Division II team um, that's focused and has a really good coach. And I don't know what our mindset going to be. So hopefully we'll get our mojo back, put in the work, and do what we need to do. But that's for FAMU side. That's what I'm interested to see how we come out, what our quarterback play looks like, and we're gonna need Rattler Nation to come out and be there for the guys and create that home field environment.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We've got to rally around this team. First home game of the season. We have first of 5 home games. Albany State is a good opponent, a champion, a conference champion, one of the best in the South in the nation. I mean, they got a big win just the other night against Mississippi College. So don't take it lightly that this is a Division II team. Now this is a team that comes in with a returning uh, uh, de- a good portion of their defensive and offensive returners, including their best defensive and offensive players. So we need Rattler Nation to show up. We need a packed house. Let's start the year off right with plus 20,000. I don't know. Our capacity may be down about 23. I'm throwing a number out there. I don't know officially.
21,
Okay. Well, we need
closer to
20.
21.
We need 20. We need 20,000. So now's a good time if you're into Tallahassee. If you're within 2-3 hours of Tallahassee, you got to get there. Get to Bragg Stadium. Find a way. Be patient because the game day conditions may be a little rocky. So the new stadium or the renovated stadium. There's a lot of construction. There's all kinds of stuff. you know, Parking may be issues. Get there early. Be patient. Let's get back to feeling good about our program in athletics. And it starts with us. It starts with us, Rattler Nation. And so that's what I'm going to encourage you and kind of leave you with. Any final thoughts, Kelvin? And we're gonna get out of here, folks, because not too much to say after this. Any final words?
Hey, Morpheus and Avis, Hertz, whatever your name is. I got a bird. I'm shooting at you right now. But it's all good. Y'all got scoreboard. It is what it is.
Yeah. Shout out to Charles Bishop. I think he called a blowout when he was on our show. I think he called it on the Game Time show on Saturday. And I guess we gotta deal with another 365 days of listening to Jackson State fans, folks. Uh, you know, that's all we got. So wherever you're at, be humble, because that's all we can do is just be humble. Shake their head, shake their hand, shake your head. Our day will come again someday. I mean, don't forget, this is a conference opponent, conference rival. They come to Tallahassee next year. Hopefully, we don't shift that off to a neutral site. They'll come to Tallahassee next year, and we'll have to do them right when they come. But for the next 360 something days, we just got to deal with it. So that's all we got. So make sure to check out our show regularly scheduled on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Myself, Kelvin, Kofi will all be here live. We'll get ready for Albany State. We'll have a few guests on, I think, that we're working on. So hopefully, we'll be ready to bring you guys a good show. Love to hear your reactions and thoughts on how we move forward. And hopefully we can have a few controversy-free days and just focus on ourselves,
Yeah.
focus on ourselves,
Yeah.
focus on
Yeah.
just being happy and without any issues. That's what I'm hoping for over the next 48, 72 hours. So that's going to do it. Live post game here from Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami Gardens. Shout out Kofi Hemingway, who's out there, did some reporting out there on the band situation. For my guy up here in the box with me, Kelvin Rozier. Appreciate our producer, Roy, for jumping in and helping get this out. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Brian Fulford. You guys be safe. And we're going to strike again, guys. Promise we will. Peace out.